Hi everyone, Grey Power 60 here. Welcome to Tea with Me Tuesday. I was busy doing some research and looking at stuff and getting overwhelmed, and my tea got cold. Oh. But I did drink almost half of it. So let's see what kind of cup we have this week. It's a Royal Albert bone china. It's called Country Scenes, and this is Dovedale. Dovedale. So this is the plate, and this is the cup. I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of cups. Will I have to start all over? I think I still have quite a few. I think I still have at least 10 more, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm a little sad today. It's in the news everywhere. Notre Dame Cathedral church fire. Devastating news. Devastating news. Notre Dame de Paris is translated roughly to be Our Lady of Paris, and it's an amazing. I have not been. I wanted to go, but I just didn't get a chance when we were in Europe. But it had some of the most beautiful architecture, and it was just to give you a background. It started being built in 1160. 1160. Unbelievable. Apparently completed in around 1260. Napoleon had his coronation there. Everybody knows the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Victor Hugo's story. And in 2013, it celebrated its 850th anniversary. And through, we won't know when or what, I haven't watched the news too much, but destroyed. Artifacts destroyed, apparently there were pieces not confirmed, because I remember reading about this. There were pieces of the cross that Jesus was crucified on. Also, his crown of thorns. So many things. Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, it is such a sad thing. Devastating news. It was, so I'm feeling that. We have so many, that's history and what went on before to get us where we are today. The history of our world is so fascinating. But it can also be overwhelming when there's too much. And I find when I was doing a little research on a few things, because I wanted to talk about, what do we do to be happy? What do we do to help ourselves feel happy? And I started going through all of these things, the image of the black hole, and then all the trolls talking about Katie Bowman, who was the computer scientist that helped with the algorithm and all of this stuff. She did a beautiful talk, a TED Talk. I love TED Talks. I love watching them. Not all of them, but I mean, I scroll through and once in a while I'll pick one up, and I love listening to those. It's like going to an event where you have someone speak and you find out some fascinating news. And so I love TED Talks. 29 years old she was. But in 2016, she did a TED Talk on how to take a picture of a black hole. And it was fascinating. And I watched the whole thing. And then you've got these, unhappy people that have got to, put her down. And, but it's worse today, I find. It's worse today because I'm going to probably get a lot of slack from this, but from the day that Jerry Springer had his show, subjecting people to all kinds of stuff, then the spin-off shows and the other shows and the reality shows and judgment and negativity and all of these things, it's a damn shame that our world turned that way, because there's only one judge. He's the only judge. We should never judge people. You know the old saying, you have to walk a mile in someone's shoes to understand them, I know I've paraphrased it somehow, but it's true. Unless you are sitting in that person's position, how can you possibly judge their life? And I personally refuse to allow judgment in my life. And it comes from self-respect. And there's many times as I was growing up, there were many times when, people would say to me, why are they talking about me? Why are they judging me? And what? Well, I may be the kind of person that has those blinders on that horses used to have going through life, but I am a firm believer, not that if you ignore it, because I do ignore it, I have to be honest with you, any negativity going on around me, unless it's very, very personal, like I talked about when I was working, that was very, very personal. That was an attack on me. That's different. That was different. That was at work. But going through life, I respect myself. I demand respect for myself from other people. I expect it and I demand it. Sure, I get hurt. Sure, I don't like to hear things, so on and so forth. But I can say through my whole life, I have always expected respect. I have always expected people to treat me the way I want to be treated and the way they should want to be treated. And I never had problems that I think people seem to, they're a magnet. They're a magnet to these things. I mean, I may get a troll or two on YouTube. Well, whatever. Who cares? It may hurt for like a split second, like when I didn't use the right wording and got a few negative responses to my card swap. I didn't know what to call it. I meant, I'll send you one if you want to send me one, kind of stuff is what I was thinking. So I didn't know a swap was 5 people get together, send in 5 things, and they get 5 things back from all these other. I think that's the way it works. I don't know. I don't know and don't care, because I don't do that. But anyway, so I guess what I'm saying is that a lot of people that I've talked to, and I had a girlfriend like this, she would ask me, why are people saying this, or why are they saying this about me? And I don't know whether she attracts it or whether she expects it, but for years, we were friends for many years. For years, I would say to her, do you love yourself? Do you respect yourself? Do you feel you're good enough to be here? Do you feel good enough to be doing your job? Do you feel good enough to look at the time looking after her mother? then demand respect. Don't allow somebody to judge you and have words go around. It happened to me once when I was at the bingo, when I was working there, once or twice, but whatever. The first time was kind of a shock because I didn't know. I came into work one day, and a good friend of mine said, so-and-so said you said this to whatever. At first I heard that and I thought, oh my God. And then a split second later, I said, no, I didn't say it. And I went on with my life for days and weeks and months and years afterwards, refusing to, 1, believe, 2, acknowledge, and 3, disrespect myself. Because once you start questioning people's judgment about you, you lose your confidence. You lose, exactly what happened to me at work, being pounded and being, but believing it. And it went so much against my character at the time. I was a confident single mother, raising 2 kids, having a hard time with my son. Unfortunately, he was a little bugger. My daughter was giving me a bit of a hard time too. But, being teenagers, they do. That it happens, whatever. But I've always respected myself. And I expect people to respect me. I'll tell you a story. One time, when I was in the dating scene, I was in my late 30s, early 40s, all through my 40s. And I would go to this club. It was a singles dance. We went, it was Friday and Saturday, I think Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, but Thursday and Friday and Saturdays were the big dance, where a lot of single girls would go, a lot of single guys. Some people would hook up. Some people just went to have a sex partner. Some people went to find marriage. Some people went to have fun, like me. I went to have fun. And one of the girls, I remember saying to me, how do you do it? How do you stand so aloof? And I guess my aloofness, because I was very friendly, very fun, we danced and so on and so forth. But if a gentleman came and asked me to dance, and I'm very, very observant of people. Like I said, I love people watching. And I noticed the way he had treated other women or anything else or whatever. I guess I prejudged him. Naughty me. But to my defense, in watching someone treat other women, if he was a gentleman, I would dance with him. If he was a drunk, I wouldn't. I guess, now he might be a really sweet guy. I'm not going to say that I, judged his character, but I guess what I'm saying is I observed the situation. And she said, how do you remain aloof and still get dates and still get us to dance and stuff like this? And I said to her, well, I respect myself. I demand people to treat me like a lady. I am not a tramp. I'm not here to find a sex partner. I'm here to have fun with my friends, and I'm here to dance. I'm here to enjoy myself. I'm a single mom. This is my night out, and tried to explain to her that you have to love yourself. You have to respect yourself. And sometimes I get lost when I forget about that. And that's not a good thing, because you really need to remember that you are you. You wake up with you, you go to sleep with you. You're you. And if your husband or your children or your in-laws or your relatives or your friends or acquaintances, co-workers, they will treat you on what you expect. In other words, what you project, whatever you project. And I guess I always projected not so much confidence because I was shy. I didn't have a lot of confidence when I was younger, but I was self-assured in that I would not allow people to treat me badly. I had enough love in my home and in my family and in my upbringing to know that people don't treat you bad. Now, maybe I was very lucky. I know I have friends that grew up with very sad situations, but I found that the friends that I had that gravitated to me, usually it was because I respected myself. I demanded to be treated well. And if someone didn't, goodbye. Good, you're gone. I mean, you're just gone. There is no excuse for someone to treat you bad. And that's probably why I got divorced. Because that situation was that he was not respectful of me as his wife and mother of his children. He was not abusive. He was not argumentative. So it was other issues. I'm not going to get into them because my children watch this, and maybe he, I don't know. I doubt if he does. I don't even think he knows I exist. However, that was, I felt that my life deserved to be a respected life. And, sure, I get hurt. Sometimes I let things in that I shouldn't. And it's usually at a time of weakness when my mind is on other things. But when I am in a calm state, when I am comfortable, like Mom and I are right now, we're in a comfortable state. I had a little worry because she's had a cough. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with my YouTube. I'm comfortable with my children. I'm comfortable with my lifestyle, that I am retired, that I am finally doing craft stuff that I'm having so much fun doing. And it's all because I project. And I think it's hard to explain how we project, but I don't know if it's self-confidence. I think it's just self-awareness. I think it's just, I like myself too much to be with someone who is going to treat me badly. I guess it boils down to that. And I think that in my grandmother and my mother raising me to, that they were to be respected, that their confidence, I guess. I mean, we all have our, highs and lows, but I don't know what I'm getting at. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I guess this all stems from these trolls, picking on this poor young girl who was brilliant. And then all of the other things I was reading, people judging Meghan and Harry and how she wants to give birth. It's her business. It's her body, but she has that confidence. She respects herself. She respects her own position, and that's a good thing. And I like that about her. But I guess I'm rambling on way too much, and I really sort of was saddened by the fire and started thinking about what I wanted to talk about, which is, what keeps us happy. And then I get off on a tangent and I start going in other directions and start talking about respect. But that's so important. Respecting yourself, expecting respect. Expect it. If you don't get it, goodbye. If you don't get, but on the other hand, the other person deserves respect. And one of the things that is important in a relationship, whether it be girls, guys, friends, children, whatever, you need to respect them too. So by respecting them, you're not judging them. You're not telling, the whole world your husband had an affair with so-and-so and like all these. I knew from the moment that Jerry Springer went on TV, and I saw it, I think 2 or 3 times over the years, like once, and went, this is not for me. Excuse me. And seeing all these spin-off shows and seeing all these other judgments, that's why I stopped watching TV. I mean, my perception of my world is respect, is love, is caring for people, not tearing them down and looking, look what she's wearing and looking how, I don't dye my hair, put on makeup and get all dolled up and go out expecting people to like me. I go out washed, dressed, comfortable, and I try to glide through life as best I can, respecting myself, respecting others, until proven otherwise, until, something is proven. I'm not going to judge somebody's, but that's an argumentative thing because we judge everything, I suppose. We have a baseline, and if somebody crosses that baseline or goes under the baseline, we start judging. And I guess what I'm saying is that, it's a sad world that we are living in when every minute thing that someone does is being judged, negatively or positively, but judged. And that's not our job. That's his job. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for joining me. This was a real rant today. I'm heartbroken about the church. It's history. We've lost such a beautiful historic building, and I know it's Paris's loss. I know it's France's loss, but it's our human loss. When pieces of history are destroyed, it saddens me. It saddens me. And I kind of went off in a rant when I started, because I was reading up on what's trending, what's new, what's going on. A funny thing, just to let you know, the Hungarians, when was it? I think it was last Thursday. I'm not sure, or was it today? I can't remember. Hungarians in Budapest had a silly walk parade. Do you remember well, I don't know if you remember, but Monty Python had a TV skit imitating this silly walk. And so Hungarians decided to have a silly walk parade. And they all got dressed up and they walked silly. And I thought that was so funny. That went rolling into finding the happiest place in the world, which is Finland. But did you know that Finland also has a high rate of suicide? That was a shocker to me. But Finland is one of the happiest places. It was voted the happiest country in the world. We rated 10, I believe. Where did I put that? Top 10. Oh, safe country. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're 6th on the list of 10 safest countries to be in. And we're a beautiful country. We're beautiful people, even though politically I don't like to listen and I don't like to talk about it, but politically things are in turmoil, but you know what? We get through it. We get through it with our chin up, respecting ourselves, and being happy. What makes you happy? What makes us happy? I'd like to know what you do. to make you happy? What makes you happy inside? Leave me a comment below and let me know. What is your happy place, or what is your happy feeling? What gives you that pure joy? Pure joy. I would really love to know. Leave it in the comments below and let me know. Thanks for joining me on this Tea With Me Tuesday, even though my tea got cold and I didn't have a chance to heat it up before I started recording.